And then, when you're not looking and you forget your intention, it goes into a wave of potential. So it depends on how you want to learn.
So what Swedenborg did was, so what he, as a scientist, he went through, I mean, Ripley's, believe it or not, lists him as one of the top 3 smartest people to have lived thus far. And so he was this highly intelligent, and he was a Renaissance guy as far as like all the different science that he studied. And he got to the point right before his spiritual awakening where he was looking for where the soul was in the body.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And
right.
so he went as far as he could with science, and then had this mystical awakening experience. And then what he said was that the Lord led him through the world of spirits, and so he saw into heaven, he saw into hell, and he's got this. He was an observer, and it was just this amazing, intricate detail of what he saw. Because he was a scientist, he wrote everything down systematically, and so what was revealed to him when he meditated, and he went through the Hebrew scripture and the Greek, it's the Septuagint, the New Testament, and when he meditated on that, what was revealed was this inner sense that yes, the sacredness of the original language exists because it was written down in that way for a specific reason, but below, I call it below that, is this inner sense. And what is revealed from Genesis to Revelation is the story of us. It's our journey from beginning to end. The creation story, and with our theology, is the development of our consciousness, yes. Our mind, our experience, our emotional state. Everything is explained. That's the development, and then we move forward through all these experiences through to the book of Revelation, where then it goes into our eternal state.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the theology in a nutshell.
And what's funny is that a lot of times people say, what is Swedenborgian or whatever you say? Okay, it is 2 states of mind.
Yeah, heaven and hell. So heaven and hell are 2 states. We align ourselves to these states as much as we love God, whatever you want to call God, that deity, as much as we are in alignment with that, alignment with loving the people around us, our neighbor, and how we are being of service in the world.
Yeah. Now here's the thing, they said stop, and so I listened to Spirit, and I could look up in the numbers, and give you a number, read number 12, but I've 1 through 999. Give me a number, anybody.
836.
836. So we're gonna, if you're curious of what I'm doing, I am using, what is it, Jen?
Angel number is 101.
Okay.
By Doreen Virtue.
By Doreen Virtue. 836 says, give any worries about money to the Ascended Masters, who are watching over, protecting, and supporting you. That's good. That's good. Scott, any number?
I'll go 163.
163. What we do is we take life, and life represents what? So we're actually spiritual investigators. And me and you have sometimes jam sessions where the events of the day, things stood out, and we're like, okay, that's interesting. So we'll sit there and we will do a jam session, explain it.
And we'll just add them up. This happened, such and such happened. And there was one day where there were anomalies.
Oh.
Where it's like this person just, why did this person come in and ask for this kind of thing? You and Scott, as we're walking the labyrinth outside, see this and it looks like a fire. You ran over and you're like, oh my gosh, there's a fire. And then came back, there wasn't a fire. It was the way that the light was. It was like, that's interesting. And so it was just like all this anomalies.
Anomalies are switching in and out of dimensions for me. And what's hilarious is I recorded it at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm looking at my computer and I'm surfing the internet, even though the internet says you have no connection. I go to my husband's. He has a connection. Huh, go to my laptop. There's a connection. Go back to my computer. Okay, I must be dreaming this. What's going on? So I got the camera out and I said, okay, I know I'm in a different dimension. Everybody's asleep, and yet look at me. I'm surfing without an internet. So I thought that was very funny. So we do this all the time, but there's that glimpse where you can stand in between the dimensional shift and actually become the observer and know when it's happening. How many times have you popped things in and out of existence? But before you answer that, 163 is the Ascended Masters have heard and answered your prayers for help. All you need to do is receive your answered prayer, is use positive words in your thoughts and speech. How's that for you? So popping things in and out of existence. Okay, so last night, me and Jen are going to sit down, and I could not find my glass. And I have a special glass I use. She has a special glass that she uses. And so we're talking to the girls, and we're chit-chatting, and I'm like, interesting. And all of a sudden, I knew that I had planned on working on cutting the videos for putting them up on my channel. And the next thing I know, time has just seemed to be slipping away, and I realized that the energy was not, or the energy was directing me doing something I didn't intentionally want to do, but I got to explore and have a good experience with the girls and with you. And so then as we were walking out the kitchen, I just had like, the girls were just constantly all over me, and Jen's going, curious. And I said, yeah, I'm curious. And so while they're acting that way, I'm looking at them and going, okay, fine. So I go to look for my glass, I can't find it. And I could feel it there, but I could not see it. I mean, literally, I knew it was there. I'm tearing things apart, can't find it. I thought, ah, crap, I popped it out of existence. So I said, Jen, I says, can you see what energy this is? I think you need to observe and then go heal something. Create a closure. She looks at it, she goes, good point. So you took then and observed, and then what can you tell us about from your point of view?
I made the decision that my 39-year-old self is going to be in charge.
Yes,
and
over her 3-year-old
over
self.
the 3-year-old in this situation. Poof, make that decision, and
so use your intention. The next thing, everything switched. So I'm teasing the girls, and then we went back into the big room, and then all of a sudden, one of the girls comes running out, and Jen is holding my glass.
I'm holding the glass.
And see, prior to that, my daughter said, well, the glass is next door, the glass is next door. And then after I looked at Jen and said, you need to heal something, my daughter says, no, it's right here, I just can't see it. And she kept pointing to something that was inside the wall. And she goes, it's there, it's there. I said, I know. And I says, Jen, heal your crap. And I ran out to the thing with the girls. And then the one girl comes back in, she goes, hey, she found it. And she's holding my glass.
And you're like, where was it? I said, it was right there.
Right where my daughter's pointing, right where I was pointing, but I had popped it out. I was in another dimension, and when I said heal, then you can pop it back in. And so it can get freaky sometimes, especially if you don't know what's really going on. And when you're really looking for something in a hurry, you say, okay, you know what, Oversoul, can I just have it back? I don't want to play with this game. Can I just have it back?
I can go seek.
You know, but sometimes they want me to go look for it when I find the thing that I'm looking for, you know, something else. And then as soon as I find that, I go, is that it? Yeah, well, oh, good. There's the thing I'm actually looking for. So it's how we learn to communicate with our soul. So it is just funny to me. So we take Life Represents in many directions. On my Facebook page, I do a lot of animal spirits, a lot of angel numbers I put on my wall. I believe in inspiring, helping you, getting closer to who you are and where you are and how you're doing. My calling is to just know that I'm the only one that's in charge of my happiness. And nobody else is responsible. Byron Katie, you know, Loving What Is, it's an incredible book, and she's got 3 books or 4 books out now, but really opened my eyes that we sit there as a human and expect people to love us. No, that is not the case. You literally need to let that expectation go. Even your mother don't even have to love you, but it's when we get off center, and then who took that energy, or who took that love, is who we actually start to want the energy and love back. My father basically was, you know, had a really rough childhood, kind of made my childhood rough for the rest of the siblings. I didn't get all of it, the brunt of it, but I did get some stuff. And as the continued story went on, I went on and saw it in my siblings, and then I outgrew them, and then I saw it in my ex-husband, outgrew him, and then I saw it in somebody that we call Nemesis. And I thought, okay, what is a frickin' pattern here? Why? And it was all about being rejected and dejected and acceptance and territorial. And I kept healing all these things, and I would upgrade, not backslide. Meaning, the more that I observed and created closure to it, I would create experiences that would show up more of a whispering opportunity than having to constantly hit rock bottom with people. When I healed her out of my life, it was an amazing tool, because I healed the issue so much that I'll tell you all about it someday, but not right now. But where am I going with this? Where was I going with this? Spirit just dropped me. Doggone it. That happens from time to time. Spirit will just drop me, and I'm now trying to remember where I'm standing. But Byron Katie talks about loving what is. And we get caught up in thinking that in our own over-identifications that since you took my power, I want it back. So when I kept looking for the people, I kept drawing people in my space. They said they want to be my friend, and then they would backstab me. And that was because I kept drawing, because I had the attracting factor to bring those people in. And when you heal these things, you can actually heal those experiences out of your life to change the environment. So it's so important to understand that you can change your life in an instant. You really can, because I got quite a few stories about those as well, that you don't even have to believe your own crap. You don't have to be stuck in hell if you don't want to be. It's learning to take the intensity off of a situation as it's spinning and literally taking that entanglement cord and say, okay, no, this is not how we're going to create a reality. And take the intensity off, the color, the number, because it represents your right brain, left brain. Create a synchronicity. And it's not pretending. It's literally going on that subconscious level and just pulling it out and stop knowing it the way you know it.
That you're actually taking charge over the way that you want to create your day, create your reality, create your relationships, and it's about that idea of responsibility.
And the trick is to train yourself not to always go to the end where it always repeating your house. You actually start to catch yourself before it completely gets to the end, and then eventually stop it altogether. You know, like retraining. The rubber band technique for when you retrain was rewards and punishment. And it is, oh, I don't like that habit, I do. Oh, I just done the habit. Let me snap my wrist and then say, I'm proud of myself that I caught it. And you can train yourself with rewards and punishment that way. Or you can take and say, oh gosh, here I go to the habit again. Now you can slowly start to heal it by using healing tools, applying different things, even the rubber band technique. And what happens is literally you stop that behavior. But when you use like hope therapy, you're literally already in the hell. Grab your wrist, do the healing tool, go where you need to go, or use meridian tapping, and it pulls you out of it. You can stop repeating it. One time when I was traveling, I had gone into hell. Well, I literally, I'm suffering. Why the heck am I suffering? So the trick is remembering to use the tool. Because when you get caught up in the hell, that's it. And I feel this energy has hit a lull. Now, I don't know if I'm picking up my husband because he had chocolate and now he's coming down from it. You know.
What I was going to actually ask, because we were talking about something before we went to break on the idea of the hells. And how does it, you go through life and you're sitting there like, I didn't, before all this spiritual awakening and coming to class and that kind of thing, it's not like I was sitting there going, oh my gosh, I am in hell. I would like to be able to solve this. I would like to know if there's a way to solve the fact that I'm in hell. No.
There's a state of when you're being human, and there's nothing wrong with it. And then when your soul starts to tap on you and say, wake up, hello, wake up, then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, there's got to be more to life. And then all of a sudden you start to notice even more that you don't like the circumstances that happen around you. And you mean I get an option? I don't have to do this crap? Oh my God, where's the ticket? I want out of here, And then some people are just scared to death to do it. And then when you start to notice your friends doing it, and then what you're doing is you're actually looking at a pattern. You are starting to wake up and to observe and notice the code and the pattern. Like my husband, I always get red lights. I go, oh, nice that you noticed the pattern. Because he literally, as a human, was noticing it. But on a spiritual sense, he was noticing patterns. We just don't remember how to communicate with our soul and notice that all of these things happen around us. It's a code. And you happen to know how to read code. People say, I don't know how to read code. Well, when you don't like something, do you know when you don't like it? Yeah, you just read code. You literally did. And so you start to find out how you know what you know. And then the beautiful part about healing is you can heal how you know it. And then it changes your world, because what happens is all of your life force is being divvied up between all of the things that you've experienced and you believe in and all the things that no longer serve, and that you go into a deficit energy-wise, and because you've got life force that's stretching it thin everywhere you go. And when you actually create a closure